Ransomware is a vicious type of malware that cybercriminals use to block companies and individuals from accessing their business critical files, databases, or entire computer systems until the victim pays a ransom. It is a form of cyber extortion. Ransomware is quickly growing in scope and impact. Opinions on this subject are abundant, but let's look at some key facts to understand the true cost and frequency of ransomware attacks. Every 11 seconds, a business will be attacked by ransomware by 2021. 4.44 million is the average cost of a ransomware attack in 2020. As cloud services become increasingly critical to more businesses' daily operations, ransomware attacks will follow to maximize profits. New ransomware types arise on a regular basis. It can be difficult to keep track of them. Here's a list of the common types, with data exfiltration during a ransomware attack being the latest. Here are the top 4 baseline security practices that IT security teams are employing to defend against ransomware attacks. But here are the reasons why these security measures are failing. Security awareness training. Employees are being trained on a regular basis with simulation tools from KnowBe4 to learn how to recognize phishing emails and avoid clicking on suspicious links. But 1 or 2 employees out of hundreds could still make a mistake and succumb to phishing attacks. Email web gateways. Organizations use email web security gateways in the perimeter to detect and block ransomware that are sent as email attachments or from suspicious websites. But these security gateways depend on signatures to detect and block ransomware. They generally cannot detect zero-day ransomware attacks for which no signatures exist. Scan for vulnerabilities. Organizations also scan all systems on a regular basis to detect any endpoints that are vulnerable to ransomware attacks. But they forget to patch all the systems if they are not critical servers. A ransomware can gain foothold on an employee's laptop and then laterally move to a critical server and do damage. DNS security can be deployed to monitor backhaul traffic between an infected endpoint and a known CNC server. But DNS security also depends on having the domain names of known CNC servers. With domain generation algorithms, hackers can rapidly change domain names of CNC servers and thus bypass DNS security measures. Therefore, most security products like next-generation firewalls, email or web gateways, endpoint protection platforms, and endpoint detection and response claim to detect malware in the earlier phases of the attack. In this demo, I'm going to show you how CipherTrust Transparent Encryption, also known as CTE, can prevent a ransomware attack from encrypting critical files and folders, and how vulnerable an unprotected server is to ransomware attacks. Typically, any ransomware is delivered as an attachment to a phishing email that can bypass existing perimeter defenses. In this demo, we're going to assume that the ransomware has somehow penetrated the intranet using a zero-day malware that went undetected by firewalls and web email security gateways. The protected server is using the CipherTrust Transparent Encryption agent. The agent has been configured to encrypt and protect our sensitive data in the server by configuring a guard point with strict security policies that enforce granular access control. To simulate several ransomware attacks, I will run the RanSim malware simulator tool from KnowBe4 on the protected server. The protected server can still get infected, but the CTE policies will prevent the malware attacks from accessing our sensitive data using rogue binaries or superuser privileges. Ultimately, even if the hacker steals sensitive data protected and encrypted by CTE, they cannot decrypt it and monetize on it. Then we will show you how the same malware simulator tool running on the unprotected server has identified it to be vulnerable to all ransomware attacks. Now let's move on to the demonstration. I have opened an RDP session to the Windows server, and as you can see here on the screen, I have the KnowBe4 RanSim ransomware simulator tool open. I'm going to go ahead and click on Check Now, and this is going to start executing 19 different ransomware attacks in our protected guard point. Now that the testing has completed, you can see that CipherTrust Transparent Encryption has successfully prevented 19 different ransomware attacks on our data. As you can see here on the screen also, we have archiver and remover, which indicate they're incorrectly blocked because the ransomware simulator tool is expecting these scenarios not to be blocked and to be allowed to run. CipherTrust Transparent Encryption is also capable of sending audit logs to your CM of choice. So let's switch over to Splunk. As you can see, the logs are showing that a process, collector.exe, running as the administrator account, tried to perform a read file operation on the file datarst.csv, and the operation was successfully denied by CTE. This action was denied because it violates the ransomware prevention security policy. Now let's go to our CipherTrust Manager and disable the protection on our guard point. This will allow us to simulate an unprotected server and show what will occur if I am not protecting my data using CipherTrust Transparent Encryption. Now let's switch back to the Windows server and run again the ransomware simulator tool on an unprotected guard point. As you can see, the ransomware simulator now has detected our system to be vulnerable to 18 out of 19 executed ransomware scenarios. With modern ransomware attacks, the smallest compromise can grow into a disastrous breach. However, you can use CipherTrust Transparent Encryption from Thales to prevent ransomware attacks before any damage is done. CipherTrust Transparent Encryption blocks untrusted or rogue binaries from accessing the data using fine-grained access controls and protects it by encrypting your data. This means when a ransomware attack strikes, it will get denied access to the data, and if the data is exfiltrated, it would be unusable. CipherTrust Transparent Encryption is part of the CipherTrust Data Security Platform. Organizations like yours can rely on CipherTrust Data Security Platform to help discover, classify, and protect your most sensitive data wherever it resides. Thank you for watching this demo.